Hi, now in this session or in this part of this continuing session, we look at a lot of standard language problems related with percentages. We have already done percentages, we know the percentage fraction equivalence, we know how to make the multiplying factor. Now we'll be looking at a series of problems, and beyond knowing percentages, we'll also need to translate these language problems into mathematics, so that will be the other part. So a series of problems will come, and then each of those problems will be discussed. I hope you've gone through the previous chapter so that you understand when the multiplying factors are used, converted into percentages back and forth. Okay, so the problems will come up on the screen and then the discussion. Okay. Okay, so its first one is when 30 is subtracted from a number, translate this much. 30 is being subtracted from a number, so we capture that information, and that will be part of the process, breaking the sentence down in small pieces and translating each piece into its mathematical equivalent. The result is right. So again, take a notice of the process. Each bit of the sentence is being translated. The result is 80% of the number. We know 80%, and this is the only part which might cause confusion. For that, you need to refer back to the previous videos. The result is 80% of the number. The number is n. That's it. We have our equation. If I solve this, I'll get my answer. If I move the 5 here, I'll get 5n minus 150 is equal to 4n. I move the 4n here, 5n minus 4n will give me n, and this 150 will go this side. So my value for n is 150. Is that okay? So that is one way of doing it, and we are using the multiplying factor, and the other part would be how to translate the sentence into the mathematical form. Okay. Now the other way of doing this problem could have been, we know from the number something is subtracted, and what we are getting is 80%. If nothing was subtracted, we would have got 100% of the number. So what has gone missing? 20% of the number has gone missing, right? So I could have made a very different equation where I could have simply said this 30 is equal to 20%, which I know is 1/5 of the number. So n is equal to 150. That would be another way of doing it. Yeah. Okay, in this next one, the prices of chocolate dropped by 15%. Okay, so now in the price there was a drop, and how much was the drop? That much should be clear. We should be able to translate. The prices have dropped. They have dropped by how much? It says 15%. Now for 15% we do not have a direct multiplying factor, but we can think 15% is a multiply. 15 is a multiple of 5. Okay, we know 1 by 20 is 5%, so 15% would be 3 by 20. So the drop is 15% of something, of what? Of the price, right? So we have this equation, and then it goes on, it says, and thus Rashi was able to save rupees 1.35. okay, now first of all you have to think that if you go to a shop and you try and buy something and there is a drop in the price, your saving will be equal to the drop. That much you need to understand. Okay, that the saving, the money you save in this transaction is the same as the drop amount. Say you go to a shop and something that was costing 100 rupees, the price has dropped by 20 rupees, it has become 80 rupees. So it's very obvious your saving would be 20 rupees, right? So the saving is equal to the drop. Now the saving is given as she was able to save 1.35 rupees. So the drop is of 1.35 rupees, and I know this 1.35 is 3 by 20 of the price. Yeah, I solve this. What do I get? Price is equal to and 20 into 0.45 would be 9. So and this was in rupees, so this would also be in rupees. So the price of the chocolate was 9 rupees. It dropped by 15%. Now you can calculate back. 9 minus 15% of 9. or 3 by 20 of 9 will give you how much? And the question is find the new price of one chocolate. So this would 1.39 minus 1.35 would be 9 minus 1 would be 8, and 8 minus 0.35 would be 7.65. Yeah, so here so this helps you create the equation in a very basic form, and knowing that your saving is equal to the drop. Now, so you have to understand that when you solve any such problem, percentage is only part of it. It is not going to help you solve the problem. What will help you solve the problem is knowing how to translate the story into this form and how the connections are going to be built. So essentially, where is the equal sign is going to be, what is equal to what. I hope that made sense. So in a mixture of milk and water, milk accounts for 75%. Okay, so milk accounts. So first of all, just a little visualization. There is milk and water in a solution. Okay, and milk is 75%. 75% of what? Remember, percentage always connects two things. So milk is 75%. We know is 3 by 4 of what? Of total. Okay. So now, if you understand fractions here, milk is 3/4. That means if you think for a minute and total of 4 liters, milk is 3 liters. So water would be 1 liter. So that much of understanding is clear. Or if I know milk is 75%, the water has to be 25% because together they're forming 100% of the total. Is that okay? Now, find the amount of mixture if it contains 28 liters of water. Now water is given to me. Now water is equal to what? Water is 28 liters. I know what milk is 3/4 of total. Water is 25%. Similarly, water would be 1/4 of total. So 28 is 1/4 of total. So total is equal to 28 into 4, which would be 112 liters, right? Yeah. So I hope again another part of understanding would be that knowing this kind of a corollary relationship, when you have milk is equal to 3/4 of total, you simply go to water is 1/4 of total, because when you know milk is 75%, water will be the other remaining 25%. Okay. After that, this question was fairly easy. So now sometimes you just looking at milk and water, you might get scared. It has nothing. I mean, it is not a very big mathematical concept. The percentage part is right here, right here. And rest of it is just a story. So learn to translate the story and life would be fairly easy in percentages. Okay, so now this is a good question because we're talking about milk and water again, which throws a lot of people off just reading milk and water. And there's a ratio involved. So it says a milkman mixes milk and water in the ratio 5:3, right? So we can think of quantities as 5x and 3x, that we have learned from ratios. So let's say, and the question is find the percentage of milk in the resulting mixture. Percentage of milk, that means essentially it is asking you to find the relationship between milk and total. Milk is what percentage of total, and we know to find any percentage relationship, if I put them in the numerator denominator form, my task is mostly done. So milk is how much? Milk is 5x, and total is how much? Milk and water, total would be 8x. This x gets cancelled. So milk is 5 by 8 of total. Yeah. 1 by 8 is 12.5%. 5 by 8 would be 62.5% of the total. Once again, translating from this to this, we have done in the previous sessions as such. Okay. And the extra point to remember, or the general point to remember, would be, remember, to find whatever percentage relationship we had to find, if I put them in the numerator denominator form, I can get there very, very easily. So I hope you remember that point whenever you have to figure out percentages. Yeah. Yeah. Another standard question of checking whether you understand how bases work or not, or what in between two numbers, which number is considered to be 100. Okay. So A salary is 80% of B salary. We know how to translate this. A is 4 by 5 of B, right? 1 by 5 is 20%, 4 by 5, 4 into that would be 80%. A is 4 by 5 of B. Remember, the basics are not too far away anyway. A is 80% of B. You would have written as A is 80 by 100 of B. So I'm not taking too much of a far away step. Now the question is, what percentage of A's salary is B's salary? So basically we have to think of A as the base. All I have to do is flip the multiplying factor here. So it becomes 5 by 4 A is equal to B. So B is equal to 5 by 4 of A. 1 by 4 is 25%. So 5 by 4 would be 125%. So my answer would be B is 125% of A's salary. Or in another form the question could have been, I could frame the language as B is 25% more than A. Yeah, just like this information could have also been represented as A is 20% less than B. The writing is bad, the idea is pretty good. Yeah. So I hope you have gone through the question, look at the key details. The total marks in the question is 250. We're just putting up the information available. And the question says, to pass the exam, you have to score 40% of the marks. So the passing is 40% would be 2 by 5, right, of the total. So passing is 40% of the total. I know what the total is. I can put it here and I work it out. I get the passing as 100 marks. Okay, 100 marks. Now, whatever character is, he says he's got 10% more than the passing marks. So 10% are Raj. Raj's marks are 10% more than this. So P plus 10% or 11 by 10 of P, right? So Raj has scored P into 11. P is 100. He scored 110. But that's not the question. The question is, what is Raj's mark? What is his percentage mark? So basically you have to do Raj divided by the total, or 110 divided by 250 into 100 you can do. You will get the answer as 44%. So if you look at these steps again, we had total marks, we got to passing marks, and Raj has scored 10% more than the passing mark. So I got to Raj's mark, and after that the question was, what is the percentage relationship between Raj and the total, right? Or what percentage mark? So I got that. There is another way of doing it. I don't need to do all of this. Yeah, I can make, and I don't need to use this number at all. Passing is 2 by 5 of total. Yeah, and Raj is 11 by 10 of passing. Replace passing, right? So you get into 2 by 5 into T. Start working with this. So you get this is equal to 22 by, or I could have cancelled this. So I get 11 by 25 of the total. Yeah. Now think of your memory engine. 1 by 25 is equal to 4%, right? I'm talking about percentage fraction equivalence. Again, something that we've done in the previous lecture. So 1 by 25 is 4%, so 11 by 25 would be 44%. So Raj is 44% of total, or Raj's mark is 44% of total. I hope that makes sense. Yeah? A milkman mixes water. So first of all, break down this part only. A milkman is mixing water in what? He is mixing water in milk. So it is milk plus water is happening, okay? But he says a milkman mixes water equal to 20% of the milk. So how much is water is a separate part. Water is 1/5 of the milk. Is that okay? Water now accounts for what percentage of the mixture? This milk plus water will give you the total. The question is, water is now what percentage of the mixture? That means I need a water by total relationship basically. So I need an equation connection between water and total. I know water is 1/5 of m, so m will be 5 times water. So this becomes 5W. So I get 6W is equal to T, or W by T is equal to 1 by 6. Or is water is 1/6 of the total. I know 1 by 6 is 16.66%, so I can get to my answer that way. Okay, let's look at another way of thinking here. Water accounts for, water is 1/5 of milk, right? So you can think of milk as 5, so water would become 1, just in your head, right? That's the basic relationship. And water and milk are being added, so total would become 6. 1 is what percentage of 6? You get the same data, but we're using numbers, and we don't want to form too many equations. We want to understand the fundamental relationship between the numbers, same as that exists between 1 and 5. So if you look at all the relationship, water by total is 1 by 6, milk by water would be 5 by 6, milk by total would be 5 by 6, milk by water would be 5 by 1, or water by milk would be 1 by 5, whatever way you want to look at it. So all percentage information, we're repeating the point over and over again, all percentage information is hidden in the ratio form. Rest is just the question of between what two numbers you want the relationship. Yeah, I hope that made sense. So first of all, let's capture the basic information given. A salary is 80%. A is 4 by 5 of B. Whereas B salary is, B is 4 by 5 of C. Now the question is, what percentage of A salary is C salary? So from the language, what percentage of A? That means A is the base and C in terms of A is being asked. So essentially you need a C by A kind of a relationship. So what you have is a connection between A and B and B and C. Just put it together. A is equal to 4 by 5 B, and instead of B I can put A is equal to 4 by 5 into 4 by 5 into C, which makes A by C 16 by 25. Is that okay? We want C in terms of A, right? So we put the C here, and this 25 by 16 comes here. Now let me rewrite that. C is equal to 25 by 16A. Yeah. What does this mean? Had C and A been equal, it would have been 16 by 16. I'm repeating the ideas from previous lectures only. If you know this is very, very easy, but I'm going through the basics. This is 9 by 16 more than A. Otherwise, it would have been 16 by 16, right? It had been equal. So C is more than A, or I can break this fraction down. A plus 9 by 16 of A. I hope this transformation made sense. So C is how much more than A? It is 9 by 16 more than A. And what is 9 by 16? 1 by 16 is 6.25%. So 9 by 16 would be 9 into 6.25, which would be 9 into 6, which would be 54, and 9 into 0.25 would become 2.25. So 56.25. So C is 56.25% more than A, or C is 156.25% of A, either of which could work for you. Okay.